here are the 19 things I wish I knew before starting freshman year of college. I hope y'all don't mind, but I'm gonna be doing my makeup as I'm speaking to y'all, and I'm getting quite a bit of the shock of like going from this busy to like negative 100 busy, and I have nothing to do, and it's kind of driving me insane. Very first thing I wish I knew is that there's a high when you get to college and you're like up here and super excited about everything, and then comes the reality check where you're actually facing everything you're doing that you haven't done before and just living on your own, and it hits you really fast. I wish I knew that was gonna be a thing. It hit me really hard. First semester was rough. But that being said, sometimes you're gonna need people who love you, who you feel like you know, because it's very different when you're meeting new people. So it's always good to have those friends that you can always fall back on. The second thing I wish I knew before coming to college is that your first semester is probably gonna be really slight. You're probably gonna be like, like it's not really that hard. And then you're gonna go into second semester and you're gonna be like, holy, why is everything happening at the same time? Why are all these classes so much harder? So just be ready, because that's going to be a reality check for your second semester if you're not expecting it. Third thing I wish I knew before going to college would, okay, this one's kind of a big one. When you are a freshman, whether you stay on campus or off campus is your decision. I stayed off campus, but I now understand why people said that I should have stayed on campus, because it's a lot harder to grow a community when you're not with all those new people that are also looking for a community. And at the same time, transportation, not really the easiest thing to do in college. It's kind of annoying when you're walking miles, when you're biking miles, or when you're waiting for a transportation system that everybody loves and adores, but like it doesn't actually, you know, build up to the expectation that you were having. I wish I had known or listened to the reasoning behind why people would say you should probably consider staying on campus your first year. It will make that transitioning a little easier. Of course, everyone has their own reasoning behind everything. I had my own. Like, I do think that I would not have survived living in a dorm. Like, I probably would have ended up hating my roommate, and I'm just not a person who can share the size of a room. Like, I just can't. I can barely share the size of a house. Like, 100% do think, evaluate, think what type of person you are. Can you handle it? Can you handle being fully alone? Do you want to be close to campus? Do you want to build a community? Or are you fine with it taking a little bit longer? Fourth thing I wish I had known before coming to college would be that you should apply to literally every single scholarship out there. A lot of people will say, don't waste your time applying to a scholarship that's only $500 and take some work, because what's $500 going to do? A lot. Do yourself the favor and actually apply to those scholarships, because guess what? If everybody's thinking about it that same exact way, nobody's going to put in the work for that one scholarship, and then who's going to get the money? You, because you actually applied. Got it? Got it. Fifth thing I wish I knew before coming to college. Do not wait until you are at the school to actually look for scholarships. Do not wait until the summer right before you go to look for scholarships. My friend, all the people who really wanted those scholarships are going to have already taken all of that stuff. Number 6, you 100% should be touring wherever the heck you're gonna be staying next year. Listen, my situation when I was a freshman was that I had a lot of friends that were already sophomores and that were already at A&M, which if you didn't know, I go to A&M. However, I did not even go tour the place that my friends told me we were gonna live at. And again, you don't know much when you're a freshman. You think you know it all. You don't. You literally don't. You're like a baby adult. Some of you aren't even adults. So get that out of your head. But please, for the love of God, go tour the place you think you want to live in. Do not go off of just the pictures that are online and whatever they tell you over the phone. Do not go off of one tour. Ask people that live there, if you know anyone. How do they feel about the place? Is there cockroaches? Is there insects? Is there mold? You know, are you gonna have to go out of your house and put the trash all the way in the dumpster, or is someone gonna come pick it up? So many questions you're probably not thinking about. I actually don't know what number I'm in anymore, but I'm gonna assume I'm in number 7. And if I'm doing this wrong, I apologize. But if if anything, you're probably just gonna get more out of this video if I lose count. So sorry, not sorry, please. Like, if you get one thing out of this video, go look at the place, the dorm, anything that you're gonna live at, and make sure you think it's acceptable for you, because if it's not, you're gonna complain about it for an entire year. But guess what? You're not going anywhere. So you're gonna have to suck it up. A thing I wish I knew before coming to college. Some people you can be great friends with, but a great friendship does not mean a great roommate. Why? I don't know. You just differ in ways, or tempers clash, and keep in mind that a roommate, whether you know them or not, has never lived with you before when you're going to college. These are people you've literally never interacted with in this way before. So give them grace. You want to give them grace because you're gonna hope they give you grace too. Because regardless of how much of great roommates you are, issues will come up at least once. And it's about communicating, it's about getting used to it. But I will warn you, and I will say, don't get overwhelmed by it in your first semester. It will probably feel a lot better coming back for that second semester. You probably won't feel half as overwhelmed or worried about how to like approach certain situations with your roommates, and I'm sure you guys will have figured each other out pretty well by then. If you want to know what I'm using, just check the link below, because I 100% will not remember to narrate everything I'm doing, but go ahead and just enjoy how I do my makeup. I look really funny right now. In the same roommate situation, when you're a freshman, you might encounter that you start planning for next year pretty early on, because you realize the prices are really cheap really early on for, wherever you decide to live with the next year. Be aware that in any situation, you're allowed to say no. Like, you're never going to be stuck with someone unless you choose to. So be mature enough, be smart enough to, recognize when you've realized that something's not going to work for you, and speak up on it. Because again, what I'm trying to get out of this is, like, these are people you're going to see every day. So you want to make sure these are the right people for you. I feel like I'm reaching number 10. Building a professional relationship with your professors can be probably one of the most beneficial experiences you can have in college. For example, I took an accounting class that I respectfully, and if Miss Knope ever finds my video on YouTube, I hated the class. My professor was just amazing, and as a person, she's literally a mom. People call her like mom in the business school. She's kind to like literally everyone, and she's basically a mom to literally everyone. So for somebody to not like her would be crazy. However, had I not had a professional relationship with my professor, had I not gotten to know her, had she not gotten to know me, I would probably have done significantly worse in her class. I ended up with a solid B, my first B in college, which leads me to the next thing. A B is not the end of the world, okay? I get it. I'm literally the queen of, this is number 11 by the way, I'm the queen of academic validation. I love to see myself getting an A in a class. It is, for some reason, like a dopamine effect on me. Getting all A's is great. However, when you're in college, people stress that you have to have a perfect GPA because a perfect GPA will land you the best job. Wrong. I'm sure a perfect GPA can open many doors. I'm sure a perfect GPA can help you get more competitive. But at the end of the day, you're not going to get hired if you don't have experience, if you don't have the social skills, and if you don't make the people who are interviewing you like you. So if you are just a book smart person who has literally nothing else to you, I've got bad news to you. A B is not the end of the world. You don't want to have C's. You're in college for a reason, right? You should probably care a little bit about how you're doing, because that is actually like very, very significant to your future, and you don't want to bomb your college GPA because you never know where you're going to go next. But a B is not the end of the world, and I think that's important to put it out there. Number 12, maybe? I'm sure I've lost count at this point, but this is such a big one to me. Don't join an organization just because everyone is telling you that you need to join an organization. Yes, being involved is great. It adds to your resume. You have things to talk about. Great. But if you join something and you hate it, can you really talk about it? No, because you have nothing about it that you are passionate about. because you don't like it. My best advice to people is like refrain from putting pressure on yourself to join something just to join something. Take it from me, where I am gonna blend this way more. Please don't freak out on me, people. I promise I'm not a crazy person about blush. If you're gonna join something, you wanna make sure that it is something that aligns with you. If it doesn't align with you, the chances are you're not gonna enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, you're not gonna participate in it. And then you won't have anything to talk about. You probably won't get a leadership position in there. And you're gonna hate being in it. I quit an org my freshman year. Quit it. Which brings me to the number 13. Don't quit because it's hard, but do quit if you hate it. If it's so unbearable and annoying to you. Oh, I quit 2 orgs actually. Not 1. I actually quit 2. Yeah, if you're in something and you just literally cannot find a reason to stay, if you hate going to the meetings, if you can't seem to like the people, if you, for whatever reason you don't like it, nobody's gonna force you to be there. What did I struggle with? Quitting. I've never quit anything in my life. But I haven't quit anything in my life because I've been stuff that has been hard, but that I like to do. This was stuff that was stupid and that I didn't like to do. Respect to anyone. If you're in this org watching this, I'm so sorry. I just didn't enjoy it. But make sure whatever you're in aligns with what you are, who you are, and what you want to do. Number 14, it will take time. I wish someone had told me, like, it will take time for you to find like your people, your crowd, whatever org you actually like enjoy. It'll take some time, but I can promise you by the end of the 2nd semester, you're gonna be like, oh my god. And you're gonna sit there and you're gonna be like, that was really dumb. I could have just chilled because it wasn't that big of a deal. And I think that's the beauty, that freshman year is a time where you grow a lot and you just kind of encounter a lot of new things, but by the end of it, you're a very, very different person from the one that started. Number 14, you are responsible for your own experience. And therefore, it is very easy, if you ever struggle with adapting, it's very easy to fall into kind of this like victim type of whereabouts, or you can just get into this like negative habit, and that is not going to do anything to help you. So I wish somebody had told me, remind yourself, especially that first semester, that everybody is literally going through the same thing, whether they look like it or not. We were all struggling. We were all getting used to this new way of living without parents, on our own. You can get really caught up in whatever people post, whatever people say. Number 15 of what I wish I knew. Always think about your priorities. I think I was honestly pretty good about this. I've never been a person to jeopardize my values or what I prioritize just for, the benefit of fun for 5 minutes or just what everyone else is doing. I tend to be someone who very much, if I say no, it means no, and it means that I really don't want to take part of it for whatever reason I might have. I think learning to say no is very important in college, because I do feel just that a lot of people fall into habits and ways that maybe are not really who they are, but it is very much what everyone else is doing, and they're just unable to say no. College is about figuring out who the hell you are, but at the same time, you should really take time to think about that and not excuse your actions upon the fact that you don't know who you are, because at the end of the day, you want to grow. You don't want to go backwards, and I think doing and making decisions and just aligning everything you do and say yes to who you really want to be is what's going to benefit you in the long run. Number 16, college, just like anywhere else that you possibly go, is a place where there is everything. There is going to be people who are really chill, people who go to church all the time, people who don't do that, and you get to pick your crowd. And it's important that you don't fall into the habit of saying like, well, everyone here does this, so I have to do this. False. You're lying to yourself, because there is so many different people in college that I've met thus far, and I think there is literally a crowd for everybody, and it's just up to you who you want to be around. So if you want to be around people who are very involved in your church, then be around people who are very involved in the church and seek it out. If you want to be around people who like to go out and have fun, then go find your people. Just realize that it's not an excuse and that there is people for you. and people who make sense for you. And you just have to be strong enough and smart enough to find them and not say that they're nowhere. Number 17 of things I wish I knew before coming to college. You do not have to like going out. You don't have to go out every weekend, and you don't have to drink, and you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do ever. People will say, and they will do, and they won't do, and they will do literally whatever the heck they want, but you are your own individual, and you get to decide whatever you like to do and whatever you don't like to do. Number 18, I wish that I knew that you're going to encounter in whatever major you go into, there's going to be a status quo pipeline, and people will follow that through. In the case of my business school, most people go into accounting, and it kind of becomes like the end all be all, that's the best route, that's what you should do, yada yada yada. And you can fall into this trap of just convincing yourself that because you don't want to do this one thing that everyone else seems to be doing and seems to be the most successful track, that you're in the wrong. You're not in the wrong. You just have a different definition of what you want your future to look like, and you have a different definition of how you see the world, and there's nothing wrong with that. That leads me exactly to number 20. You are going to many times encounter that you're going to feel as though you're behind, or you know, there's something you're not doing that other people seem to be doing, or you're going to see that a lot of people have everything figured out, and they know exactly what they want to do, and they know exactly where they want to work, and they know exactly where they're going to intern, and they just seem to have literally every question fully with like all the answers. My friends, they don't have it figured out. Trust yourself. By the end of the first year, you're going to have a much clearer view of where you see yourself, where you think you might actually fit into the world that you're studying in, and things will probably smooth out, work a lot better, feel a lot better by the end, and you won't have half as many worries as you did in the beginning. Trust the process, because freshman year is a crazy year, and I think it's probably the year that changes people the most, and it is a time to be patient, and it is a time to enjoy it, and it's a time to take a chill pill, because I was going crazy. But you don't have to go crazy. You can just like relax, just enjoy it, and realize that it's gonna go by really quick. And I can't believe I graduated a year ago and I'm already done with my freshman year. So just enjoy it, have fun, and yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this little video, and subscribe for more things like this. I'll see you guys later. Bye.